Okay, so this is 11-9, day 2. We're continuing yesterday's discussion. Today's going to be exactly the same, except now we're looking at where we have non-whole number deviations. So if we're not going that whole first deviation, we might go only part of the way. We might go like 0.4. So now we're going to be finding the area of a partial deviation. So you guys were saying that it was a little hard to visualize what we were looking at yesterday. So I've given you a standard curve for each problem. And what we're going to do is we're going to shade in the actual area that we're looking at. So to read our table that you're given now for these partials, these x values on top are your deviations. So we knew what one standard deviation was, that the area under the curve for that first standard deviation was 0.3 or 0.3413. So now these give you like the partials. So if we're not going to 1, if we're going to 0.8, that area is going to be the 0.2881.
What did you just say?
Okay. So before we were looking at a whole deviation, right? So we knew that one standard deviation from the mean, so this area, that area was the 0.3413, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What this table gives you are your non-whole numbers. So if you're only going 0.6 of a deviation, or you're going 0.8 of a deviation, so you're going like in between this first deviation somewhere. That's what this table tells you. And we're going to use that for these decimal ones. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to do the first one with you guys, and then I'm going to have you do the second one, and I'll come around and see how we're doing, okay? Just so we get a hang of how to use the table. So for the first one, we're at -2, -2.0. So what that's telling us is that we're at the -2 deviation. So 2 deviations to the left. Because that's what these numbers are giving us, are our deviations. So we are right here for the first part. And then we want to go all the way to 0.4. So using this line just like you would a number line, like this is -3, -2, -1, 0, so on, we're going to find where 0.4 lands on our number line. So that's going to be almost halfway between the 0 and the 1. So that's our 0.4. So we want to find the area under the curve that's in between those two sections. So if we were shading what we were looking for, we're looking for this whole area. So does that help that you can actually see what we're looking at now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, we're going to do exactly what we did yesterday, except now we have to use the table. So can somebody tell me how we did this yesterday?
We would.
Go ahead, Trevor.
I forgot.
You forgot. You had it and then you forgot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michaela.
Wouldn't you add the 0.1359 plus 0.3413 plus 0.1554?
Exactly. Yep. We're taking that deviation area, which is the 0.1359, and we're taking this deviation area, which is the 0.3413, and then we want to take, using the table, that 0.4, so that's the 0.1554. So that's gonna give us the area of that section. So what did we get? Did anybody add it up? What'd you get? So we got 0.6326. 0.6326. That's just adding those decimals.
It would just be 63%.
And then we could transfer that to a percentage, which would be 63.26%. Okay. Now, I want you guys to try number 2 on your own. Number 2 is a little bit different, so pay attention to what area you're actually looking at. I want you guys to actually think about what you have to do. And once you get an answer or get close to an answer, go ahead and see if your neighbor has the same answer.
That makes sense then?
You need filing cabinets moved?
Yeah.
Ms. Knight,
Yes.
so it would be like,
Okay.
because it's 1, so it would be
Alright, so
just
this.
0.8, so it would be
So this is the
would be
rate.
just plus the rate.
This is the area of
So we grab this.
So we're not paying attention to
I was reading that.
this table,
This is like.
gives us the deviation. That's gonna give us the deviation all the way to that point, or that 1 point. That's what this table tells us. So that little distance is the point 4641.
Right here? This is,
No, to where you have
Yes, you may.
1.8.
okay.
That from your mean to the 1.8.
Oh, so
Is
you
this.
just, so you plus
So you
this
want-
times
Okay, but you
that?
should be
Hang on,
here,
you want
here,
this area.
1.8.
Okay.
And then,
You know the whole area.
one is here, and
You
1.8.
know this area. But you don't want this area.
So you just, you reach your mind.
That makes sense.
Okay, you know
Really?
what?
Okay.
And we're just rapping about it. They're just kidding around.
What area are we talking about?
All this area.
Okay.
Or what I
subtracted.
You have to subtract. You want to
Yeah,
subtract.
but we can do it. I don't know.
Here,
What area
Yes,
is
here
it?
and here. I was, oh, that was hilarious.
Right, but
here to here
it's
is
gotta be,
1.8.
because the shared
See,
area
it's
is
all
less.
here to here is 0.46. So you're gonna want to
From your
subtract
to
this
1.8.
take this out of that 1.8. That point.
So what I would do is I would add these.
Take, no adding, you're gonna take this number and subtract that.
Okay. And that's me. That's me.
You know the group
Right.
is here?
Now we know
You're
between
gonna
these
take,
first two. That's
see
what this
from
number is.
here to
Greater
here.
trying to do myself.
So if we know the whole area.
Yeah.
and we know
Here to here is
Okay,
1.8.
because the 1.8 covers from here to here. And this is 1.8.
So you're gonna take that number.
I'm sorry.
So that covers all of the 0.434641. But we're only looking at this shaded area. So you're gonna have to subtract 3.4.
So saying it's like that's what it is, maybe I guess.
Because this 0.4
No, that's greater.
or 0.4641 is
No. No, remember what we did yesterday. We wanted to see area.
Oh, so you get like,
Remember that there's that hangout
that covers
that we don't know about.
I just took this number,
But
and I take this number,
Here to here.
Now, we're trying to find only the shaded area. It doesn't.
You wanna remove this.
I added it, and that's why I got this number.
So that's why we would have to subtract it, because we only want.
From here to here.
Never mind, Dennis, you minus it.
No,
So that's-
you're only
Here's
looking
that
at the
number.
1.6,
There
so that's
to
what
there.
you're gonna take this
Use
away.
that number.
4.5.
You don't want
This
this.
goes
Did you just
Yeah.
add?
1.8.
Some are adding
all
and
we're
some are
doing.
subtracting.
So it's just,
So you have this whole,
yeah.
Color in 1 to
and we
1.8.
know this section.
See, this bounds a little bit different
We want
because we have
Okay, you wanna find
more
that
shaded
area.
areas where.
So you wanna
We have a full
Yeah.
deviation.
So when it's
here.
first, when it's on the positive side,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
subtract it when it's on the
So you
negative
just add
side?
those
It's
up
not
along
necessarily
with
adding or
the
subtracting.
other point.
You don't
Now
want
this
this
one
piece
Travis?
right here.
doesn't start from, yeah,
want
this one
just
doesn't
these
start from zero,
areas.
so that's why
Oh,
we
you're
have to
taking
take
the
a
whole,
whole.
so you're taking it,
This one's a little
here,
different. This one we're not adding. This one we're gonna take, we have, we know that the table, because we're using the table. The table gives us all the way to 1.8,
Is
right?
1.8.
Yeah.
So that
So
tells
you
us
don't
from our
want this
mean
piece right here.
from our middle value.
1 point, you're gonna take that amount and subtract that.
That's
0.35.
this number.
Okay.
So that's the point.
Okay, so, no, I got 1, 2, 2,
And then 1.8 covers from
So that's the whole.
here all the
So
way.
that would be this entire section.
0.4641,
But we just want that.
3, or point, but then 1, 3.
So we know the whole.
It's 3, 4, 1, 3. Yeah.
This number, right?
Point
So how do we take the whole area and get rid of this part?
Okay, so I'm sure she's gonna do an example like this. But.
You were on the right
what
track.
one are you looking at? Okay, so negative 0.8 would probably be just like
Is this right?
like the same area shaded. I'm pretty sure that's what it's like.
Yeah, that should be. So it's like 12.2.
So just wanna double check. Yeah, well, this said x is greater than 1.6, so it's gonna be everything equals 7.6 and everything to the right.
I mean,
So but everything to the right. You want to shade farther.
are we struggling?
No,
You want greater than 1.6. Here's 1. Okay, so 1.6. Yeah, so now from here to here is
So
this
you would
area.
probably do this, so
Okay.
subtraction.
So here to here is
0.5
that
minus
number.
everything up. to
But
that.
we
So
don't
you
want,
do
now
0.5
remember,
minus,
half of your data
She's prepared. No.
is that
You can actually
side.
do 0.5 minus
The other
whatever you
half
have.
is
from
here.
one.
So if from here to here is that number, what do you think this is gonna be? What would you do?
Alright, well,
That
from here to
minus
here,
this.
that's,
Okay.
Sorry.
so 1.8 is right here. So 0.4641, and then you're gonna take away this section, because that's not shaded in.
So for this one, it'd be like 0.5 plus.
Wait, where are you at? Okay, so you want from here to here. So remember, half of your data is from here to here.
Okay.
So what's this region right
We're only
here?
looking at the
0.8.
shaded area.
This is gonna be
So from here to here,
0.2881.
this area
So if
would
this
be
is
the
0.2881, you're gonna do half,
Now, but this
Minus.
part's not shaded in, so I have to take that away.
and that's gonna be this
Yeah.
area.
Subtract the.
Did you get it? Questions? Yep.
What, the smell?
Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Okay, where's 1.6? Yeah, so. Okay, so from here, 0 to 1.6, the area underneath that curve is this number right here. From here to here, this area is 0.4452. Here to here. We don't want that. We want after that.
Fran said so.
You have to know that from here is 50%. Half of your data is half this way, the other. So if we want this region, and we wanna take this out, we don't want this. What would you do? Uh-huh.
Less than or equal to, so
You would take half and minus this piece, which is from here to here, the area is 0.4.
this one? Okay.
So that's what's this area.
From here to here,
Sorry. Did I?
the chart tells me that.
-2. You wanna find the area between here. You wanna find the area that's less than 2, but greater than -1. So you wanna add these two up. Just add, yeah.
Yep, and then 6.
So you get a negative number?
No, because this is 0.4641.
tell
and 3.3413.
Alright,
Oh, I'll subtract it from 0.4.
Oh, you just want to know if I did this
Subtract
right,
it
just the
from
fish.
4.
This is the, this is
No,
subtract
not
from.
this.
No, I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
you just got-
Because all the times I did.
Okay.
And then the number 4 is the exact same. I vouch for her.
So,
Yeah, she knows I did.
That wasn't me.
Could have just said you didn't want them, but I do that right. Let them grab
So
them.
do I subtract this from
From
4?
here to here.
Man, made it to your back.
This area is going to be 5.
46,
So you wanna take, no, half of your
So
data
this
from
is one.
here to here,
With it.
that's half.
Here we go.
Right? So if from here to here,
So that would be
This
this is
Point,
point four
yeah,
four
1,
five
2, so
starting
with
from
Yeah.
here.
plus this.
So
This
out
one,
of this
2.
50%,
and I only
Yes.
want
Wait.
there.
I used to.
point
Where is
four
it?
four five
You know
two,
what I'm saying?
No,
what's the
okay.
I don't.
So you're not
What part of
you
that
have
would
that.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
if I were to go to the
then this
store
way.
and I,
That 1.2.
something
Yeah.
was 50
I
cents,
was by mine online because
I don't have this part, what would I
That's
do
just
with
that
that?
plus.
From here to here,
So you
it's
don't
like
have-
You don't have
4.52. I don't want
So it's
this,
just
I
these
want,
two.
yes,
From the 50.
yes.
What color is
So I
it?
should just get 16.
The bottle is?
No,
Is it
no,
like,
wait.
is it,
You're
yeah, it's like
taking,
this?
you're taking
Yeah,
this,
no, should I know?
but you have this number
That would give you this
to the
area.
1.2 is from your,
Oh,
That's where
okay,
you-
so this, this.
yeah,
I
this,
have to do
yeah,
anything
you're not paying attention to that.
Just that.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep.
Okay, I was.
You just flip flop the numbers.
How would Brown's tape mix up with I'm like, nope.
So it'll be 5.3.
It'd be five.
Yes, but not that she does crazy. She doesn't think it's a tape.
Okay, so it looks like most of you guys are done and you've actually moved on, which is a good sign, that you've moved on to the next one. So I'm gonna shade the region for you. So we're at 1, so that's our first deviation. And we're going to 1.8, so not quite to 2. So we're looking for this area. So we're looking for that small section. So what did we have to do to find that small section? What do we know?
What is the chart? What is the chart? What does the chart tell you? 1.8. Okay, so we know from 0 to 1.8 is 0.4641, right?
Yeah, we know that that whole distance is that 0.4641. So we have a whole region that we're looking at now,
She probably has the jib on it.
and we want this partial part. So we have a whole and we have a part that we don't want. How do we get rid of a part that we don't want? We subtract it. So we're going to take our whole from 0 to 1.8, which was given to us in the chart.
Take the 50% and subtract it by the.
That's our 0.4641. And we're going to subtract that part that we don't want, which was our 0.3413. When you subtract those, you should get 0.1228. And then again, if we wanted to make that into a decimal or into a percentage, it's 12.28%. So then I saw most of you moving on to 3. So we'll do 3 as a class, and then the last 3 are going to be your homework. So can someone that started 3, can you tell me what we're doing? Where's the region that I'm looking at?
Greater than 1.6.
Okay, so where is that?
Between 1 and 2.
Okay, so a little bit over half between 1 and 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say that that's 1.6.
And you want everything greater than that, so you're shading to the right.
So I'm shading to the right. So that's the rest of the graph over here. And remember,
That's 50% in the middle.
so wait, what's 50%?
The, whatever it says, mean, the mean is 50%.
From the mean,
Over is 50%.
that whole area is 50%,
Yeah,
okay?
so then you take the 0.5 and subtract it from the 1.6 on the top.
I'm subtracting 0.5 from,
No, I'm subtracting the 0.5 from 0.4452.
okay, I understand what you're saying, but you're saying it backwards. You're saying that you're subtracting 0.5 from something. So that means you're taking the 50% from something else. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did you say, Jack? So what am I doing?
Take the 0.5 and then subtract the 1.6.
So you're taking 0.5 and you're subtracting
The
the
one.
0.4452. So you're saying, you're doing it right, Kaylin. Like I said, I understand what you're saying, but you're not taking 0.5 from something. You're taking the 0.44
From the.
from the 5. That was the only wrong thing. So we're taking 0.5 because 50% becomes 0.5, and we're going to subtract our area to the 1.6. So we're subtracting the 0.4452. Was everybody clear on that?
Yes.
No? Who isn't? You? All right.
Wait, just say it again.
It's Chelsea.
Just say it again.
Okay. All right. So we know that this is 50% of our information from the mean. So from the mean all the way this way is 50% of our information. Okay? So we want the information to the right of the 1.6, that shaded area.
Oh, and then we go to 1.6 and then subtract. like,
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
You're good now?
Yeah.
All right. So then
Are
when
you
we,
subtracting everything behind 1.6 or everything in front of 1.6?
where?
We're subtracting the area that's not shaded. Okay, so right here.
So we're getting rid of this area that we don't want. So that's from the mean
So we're
to the
taking that away from
1.6.
the 0.5 because it's not shaded.
So when we subtract that, you should get 0.0548. And again, making that a percentage, you should get 5.48%. So the last 3 are gonna be your homework. With the graphs given to you and shading, does it make it clearer than it was yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say something really quick? You guys understand that, see this negative 0.8? You're not gonna use a negative number. It's absolute value. So did you explain that those numbers are mirrored on the other side? Because some of them are using negative numbers.
Because distance can't be a negative number.
Right.
The distance on the chart is gonna, it's like you're taking the absolute value of that negative 0.8 to get 0.8, because you can't have a negative distance.
So
Oh, I
all,
see what you, okay.
so all that negative 0.8 means is that you're going to the
Other
left of that mean.
So you don't use that.
So you're gonna use, can you raise it up?
That chart.
So
Can we
you're,
just do 4 together?
yes, we can do 4 together. So see this number, negative 0.8. You're not gonna use a negative number. That negative just means that you're going 0.8 to the left. If it were a positive 0.8, it would be 0.8 to the right. So you need to use those numbers on that chart.
It's a percent. So
But you're using them, they're the same percentages, don't change them to negative. I saw some of you guys saying negative, it's a negative number. So show them that 0.8 means, show them that 0.8 up on top.
Okay, so we want that this is the 0.8, so that's where your 0.8 is. And you want numbers that are less than or equal to 0.8. So that, which side am I gonna shade? I'm gonna shade the left side. So you're interested in all those numbers, okay? So the number that you're gonna use from the chart is the 0.8. These numbers are in the positive direction, but they also go in the negative. But your areas stay the same. They don't go negative. Is that what the issue was? Is that we were making the areas negative? Travis, you can go ahead.
Yep.